In this video, we are going to talk about operators. So operators are generally used in every programming language, but we are specifically going to talk about operators for the C programming language. And the first set of operators that we're going to talk about are the assignment operators. So the assignment operators help us just assign values to variables. So to give you an example now, this equal to sign right here is an assignment operator, because we're assigning 6 to be a value of num1, or in simpler terms, we're trying to say num1 equals 6, so the new value of num1 is 6 due to this operator, the equal to sign, which is an assignment operator. Now the next assignment operator that we are going to talk about is the minus equal to or plus equal to operator. Now what if we wanted to reduce the value of 4 by, let's say, 2? I could come down and say num2 minus equal to 2. So what I am saying here is that I want you to go to the num2 variable and reduce the value of whatever has been equated to num2 by 2. So if I print out num2 right now, you see that it says number 2 is 2. That is, the value has decreased from 4 to 2 because we have said minus equal to. So this is also saying num2 is equals to num2 minus 2. Now this is the exact same thing as saying num2 is equals to num2 minus 2. And if I run this, you see that it still says number 2 is 2. But to write it in a shorter way, we just say num2 minus equals to 2. Now we can also do the same thing for other arithmetic operators. We can say num2 is equals to num2 plus equals to 2. Now this is the same thing as saying add 2 to whatever the value of num2 is. And if we run this, you can see it says number 2 is 6 because it added 2 to 4 right here. Now we can do the same thing for multiplication. So I can say num2 times equals to 2. Now since 2 times 4 is 8, it should give us 8 right back. So you can see it prints out num2 is 8. And then we can do the same for division also. Num2 / equal to 2. And once we run this, you can see it gives us 2 because it's performed the division of 4 divided by 2. So that is those are some of the basic operators that we have, some of the basic assignment operators that we have in the C programming language. Now the next set of operators that we're going to be talking about are the comparison operators. So these operators are used to compare two values or two or more values, basically, to see whether they match or to see which quantity is larger or which quantity is more. So the main thing they do is they just compare two or more values of variables together. So the first comparison operator that I'm going to be talking about is the double equal to. That is double equal to like this. Now this is used to check if two values or two variables are equal. So for example, I can write a conditional right here and I can check if the value of num1 is equal to the value of num2. Inside here I would say if num1 is equal to num2, that is, I want to check if whatever value that is here is equal to the value that is here. So if num1, this is supposed to be num_1, so if num1 is equal to num2, I want you to print out they are equal. So I'm going to put a semicolon here. Then if they aren't equal, I'm going to write an else block right here, and I want you to print out they are not equal. So let's run this code now to see what it gives us. You can see it prints out they are not equal. So basically what the program did was that it took num1 and it took num2 and it checks if their values were equal to each other. That is what the double equal to operator is used for. It's just used to check if two values are equal to the same. If two values are the same thing. So the next comparison operator we're going to talk about is a not equal to. That is, if we want to check if the value of num1 is not equals to num2, what are we going to do? We say not equals to by first putting an exclamation mark and an equal to symbol. So these together form the not equal to comparison operator. So if we want to check now if num1 is not equals to num2, we can now say if num1 not equal to num2, we will say they are not equal. But if num1 is equals to num2, then we're going to say they are equal. So let's run this in the terminal right now. So you see that it gives us they are not equal, because obviously 6 is not equals to 4. Now to go over it again, this operator is just used to check. It's used to check if two operators are not equal to each other. So if they are not equal to each other, it means this condition has passed, has been fulfilled, hence this print will work. But if these two conditions are equal to, if these two values rather are equal to each other, it means that this print is going to work. This else block is going to work, and it's going to print out they are equal. So that is that about the not equal to comparison operator. Now the next one that we're going to talk about, they are the I will kind of call them magnitude comparison operators. That is the angle brackets. So we can check to see if num1 is greater than num2, and we can also check to see if num1 is less than num2. Another thing that we can also check is to see if num1 is greater than or equal to num2, and we can also check if num1 is less than or equal to num2. So these are all just basic operations that we can carry out to see if a number is greater than the other number. So let's say if num1 is greater than or equal to num2, we can print out, or let's remove the equal to part. So if num1 is greater than or equal to num2, we can say num1 is greater. Num1 is greater. Then else, we're now going to type in num2 is greater. So let's clear this right now and run. So since num1 is 6, it says the first number is greater, which is true, because we are written a conditional in here to check if the first number is greater than the second number, then print num1 is greater. Now so that is that about comparison operators. We talked about the double equal to sign, which checks if two values or two variables are equal to each other. We talked about the not equal to, which helps us check if two values are not equal to each other. Then we talked about the magnitude I will call them the magnitude comparison operators, because they help us check if a value is greater than another value, or if a value is less than another value, or if they are less than and or equal to some specific value, or less than or greater than or equal to some specific value. So that's that about the comparison operators. Now the last set of operators that we're going to be talking about are very special, and they are called the logical operators. Now the logical operators just help us to check for more things between several values. So for example, let's say we wanted to check if num1 or num2 are both greater than, let's say, 2, or no, if num1 and num2 are both greater than 5. How exactly are we going to write that? Now the way an OR logical operator works is that all it needs is for one of the conditions that is checking for to be true. Now I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. So let's check to see if any of the numbers, that is num1 and num2, if any of them are greater than 5. So I'm going to write a conditional here, and I'm going to say if, open bracket, num1 is greater than 5, or num2 greater than 5, and I'm going to open parentheses and print f yes, one of the values values is greater than 5. Now let me explain what is going on inside this parenthesis right here. So we're checking if num1 is greater than 5 and num2 is greater than 5. Sorry, if num1 is greater than 5 or num2 is greater than 5. So if we want to create an OR logical operator in the C programming language, we use the pipe key. You have to create 2 pipe keys, or you have to type pipe twice, I mean. So this represents OR in C. Now what it essentially does is that it checks 2 conditions, the conditions that have been given to it inside the parentheses, and as long as one of the conditions is true, it's going to run whatever is inside that conditional. So all it takes to run this conditional is for one of the conditions inside to be true. So let's clear the terminal right now and run this code. I am getting an error somewhere. print. I didn't put my t. Okay, so let's run this code right now. So you can see it prints out yes, one of the values is greater than 5. Now it was able to determine that because it's first checked, is num1 greater than 5? Obviously num1 is 4, so it isn't greater than 5. So it's now said, or is num2 greater than 5? Since num2 is 6, it means that yes, num2 is greater than 5. So this condition is satisfied. Now we can add as many values as we want in here. For example, I can create another variable and call it int num3, and I will equate that to let's say 9. And I can also come here and create another OR operator, and I can say OR num3 greater than 5. Now this is also okay. If I change value of num1 to, like, let's say 3, now the only value that is greater than 5 is 9. So once we run this program, it should print yes, one of the values is greater than 5. So let's run it. It's giving an error. Let me clear the terminal and run this again. So you can see that it prints out yes, one of the values is greater than 5, because this last condition right here was true. And remember, I said all an OR operator needs is for one of the conditions that have been passed in to be true. Now that is that about the OR operator. The next operator we're going to talk about is the AND operator. Now we talked about this in the last video, but we're just going to shed more light on it in this video. Now for the AND operator, it's just like the OR operator, but it requires every single condition inside the parentheses to be true. So the way we create the AND operator is we use the double AND symbol. So we can create that here. So here we're going to say if num1 greater than 5 and num2 greater than 5 and num3 greater than 5. So what it just simply means is we're trying to check if all the numbers are greater than 5. Now an AND operator will only be fulfilled again if all the conditions inside the parentheses are fulfilled. So if let me just add an else block here, sorry, and I'll say else print f, and I'll print out all the values are not 5. So if I run this code right now in the terminal, what do you notice? It prints out all the values are not 5. All the values were not 5 because all the conditions were not met. But if all the values are not greater than 5, this is supposed to be not greater Now it prints that because all the values right here are not greater than 5. But if I were to change this to like 8 and change the second one to like 67, for example, when I clear the terminal and run this, you'll see that it prints out yes, all the values is greater than 5. This was a mistake. This is supposed to be yes, all of the values are greater than 5. So right now you can see that the AND operator requires all the conditions that it is tested with to be true, whereas the OR operator only requires one value to be true. So these are the logical operators that we are going to talk about today, or basically these are all the operators that we're going to talk about in this video. I hope you understood everything we talked about, and if you have any question or you have any observation or problem, please do not hesitate to raise it up in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.